HOA demolished my yacht for unauthorized mooring. Too bad I own the entire marina. The sun hung low over Lake Evergreen, casting a golden shimmer across the water that lapped gently against the docks. Alex Thompson stood at the edge of his property, coffee mug in hand, watching his yacht, the Serene Escape, bob peacefully in its mooring. It was his pride and joy, a 45-foot beauty he'd bought after years of grinding in the tech industry. Now, at 42, semi-retired and loaded, he thought he'd finally escaped the rat race. But suburbia had other plans. The Evergreen Estates HOA was a beast of its own. Nestled on the shores of the lake, the neighborhood boasted manicured lawns, identical mailboxes, and rules thicker than a phone book. Alex had moved here 5 years ago, drawn by the serenity and the marina just beyond his backyard. Little did he know, the HOA's tentacles reached into the water. His phone buzzed. A text from Margaret Maggie Hargrove, the HOA president, better known as the neighborhood's reigning Karen. Mr. Thompson, your vessel is in violation of Section 14.2, unauthorized mooring in community waters. Remove it by noon or face fines. Alex rolled his eyes. Community waters? The marina was private property, his property, as of last month. He'd bought the entire thing on a whim after the old owner retired. But Maggie didn't know that. No one did, yet. He sipped his coffee, feeling a mix of amusement and irritation. This wasn't the first clash. Last summer, she'd fined him for his grass being a quarter-inch too long. He'd paid it, grumbling, but this was personal. The Serene Escape wasn't just a boat, it was his sanctuary, where he escaped the echoes of his divorce, the stress of his old job. He typed back, Maggie, the mooring is on private docks, not HOA jurisdiction. Her reply was instant. The lake is shared. Rules apply. Meeting tonight at 7. Be there. Alex sighed, rubbing his temples. He could hear her voice already, shrill, self-righteous, laced with that faux politeness that masked her control-freak tendencies. Maggie Hargrove, 55, retired schoolteacher, widowed, with nothing better to do than police the neighborhood. Her house was the epitome of suburban perfection, flower beds immaculate, porch swing creaking under the weight of her judgments. Neighbors whispered about her meltdowns, like the time she screamed at the Johnsons for their Christmas lights being too garish. Alex had seen it firsthand, but he wasn't the Johnsons. He owned the damn marina. Still, he decided to play along. For now, the community center was packed that evening. Folding chairs squeaked under shifting bodies, the air thick with the scent of cheap coffee and tension. Alex sat in the back, arms crossed, scanning the room. There was Tom Riley, the burly mechanic next door, who nodded sympathetically. Tom had his own beef with the HOA, something about his truck being unsightly in the driveway. Beside him, Lisa Chun, a young mom with twins, who avoided eye contact. She'd once confided that Maggie had threatened to report her for her kids' toys littering the yard. And up front, Maggie herself, gavel in hand, her perm as stiff as her spine. Order, please, she barked, though no one was talking. Tonight's agenda, violations and enforcement. She eyed Alex like a hawk spotting a mouse. First item, Mr. Thompson's yacht. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Alex stood. Maggie, as I said, the mooring is on private property. The marina isn't part of the HOA. She smirked, adjusting her glasses. The covenants state that all waterfront activities fall under HOA oversight to maintain aesthetic uniformity. Aesthetic uniformity? Alex felt his blood pressure rise. That's ridiculous. The marina predates the HOA by decades. She waved a hand dismissively. The board has voted. Fine of $500 per day until removal. The room erupted in whispers. Tom leaned over. This is bullshit, Alex. She's on a power trip. Alex nodded, his jaw tight. He could reveal his ownership now, but where was the fun in that? No, let her dig her hole deeper. He sat down, fuming silently. Emotions churned inside him. Anger at her entitlement, frustration at the sheep-like neighbors who let her rule. But beneath it, a spark of excitement. Revenge was brewing. The next morning, Alex woke to the sound of engines. He rushed to the window. A tow truck backed toward the dock, 2 men in overalls unhooking chains. Maggie stood nearby, arms folded, a triumphant smile on her face. What the hell? Alex muttered, bolting outside in his pajamas. Hey, stop. That's my yacht. The workers paused, looking uncertain. Maggie stepped forward. Mr. Thompson, you were warned. The board authorized removal. Removal? To where? A storage facility. At your expense, of course. Alex's heart pounded. This woman was unhinged. You can't do this. It's trespassing. She laughed. A sharp, condescending bark. The HOA has easement rights. Check the fine print. He clenched his fists, emotions surging. Disbelief, rage, a hint of panic. The serene escape held memories. Weekends with his daughter before the custody battle turned ugly. Now this petty tyrant was ripping it away. Call it off, Maggie. Now. She shook her head. Too late. Boys, proceed. The chains clanked against the hull. Alex watched in horror as they winched it up. But something went wrong. A snap echoed across the water. The yacht lurched, scraping against the dock. Paint peeled, a gash appearing on the side. No, Alex yelled, rushing forward. The workers halted, apologetic. Sorry, man. The rigging caught. Maggie's face paled for a split second, then hardened. Minor damage. Bill the HOA if needed. Alex spun on her. Minor? That's thousands in repairs. She shrugged. Should have complied. He trembled with fury. This wasn't just a boat anymore. It was war. But he held his tongue. Let her think she'd won. Back inside, Alex paced his living room. His phone rang. Tom. Dude, I saw the whole thing. She's out of control. Yeah. Alex replied, voice steady despite the storm inside. But I've got a plan. He hung up, pulling out the deed to the Marina. Purchased anonymously through a shell company. No one knew. Yet. Over the next few days, the fines piled up. Emails from Maggie, each more smug than the last. Your noncompliance is noted. Additional penalties apply. Alex ignored them, focusing on repairs. The yacht was in dry dock, the gash mocking him. Every glance fueled his resolve. He started subtle. At the next HOA meeting, he didn't attend. Instead, he sent a letter, formal, from his lawyer. Cease and desist all actions regarding the Marina. Maggie read it aloud, scoffing. Empty threats. The board stands firm. But cracks appeared. Lisa approached him at the mailbox. Alex, is it true? About the yacht. He nodded. She's gone too far. Lisa glanced around. Some of us agree. But she's got dirt on everyone. Like what? She hesitated. On me? Unpermitted playset. Threatened CPS. Alex's stomach twisted. Emotional blackmail. Classic Karen. Don't worry, he said. Change is coming. That night, alone on his deck, Alex stared at the empty mooring. Loneliness crept in, mixed with determination. He'd built his fortune outsmarting bigger bullies. Maggie was small potatoes. But the hurt lingered, the violation of his space, his peace. He poured a whiskey, toasting the stars. To owning the Marina, he whispered. The real fun begins soon. Word spread. Neighbors whispered about the yacht incident. Tom hosted a barbecue, inviting Alex. A few others showed, wary but curious. She's demolishing community spirit, Tom grumbled, flipping burgers. Alex nodded. Demolishing more than that. He shared snippets, not the full truth. Just enough to stoke discontent. Lisa brought pie, her kids playing in the yard. Thanks for standing up, she said softly. Alex smiled, but inside, tension coiled. What if it backfired? What if Maggie rallied her loyalists? The entitled ones, like the Parkers, who kissed up to her for favors. Bill Parker, a smarmy realtor, always backing her motions. Probably hoping for HOA presidency someday. Alex felt the weight of it all, relatable suburban hell. Petty rules strangling joy. But he pushed on. A week later, the bombshell. Maggie organized a lake cleanup event. Volunteers, mostly her cronies, gathered at the Marina. Alex watched from afar. They strung banners, planted signs. HOA property, no unauthorized use. His blood boiled. That was his land. Time to act. He called his lawyer. File the injunction. But before papers served, chaos erupted. During the event, a storm rolled in. Winds whipped the lake. The signs toppled, banners tore. Maggie shrieked orders, her meltdown epic. Secure everything. This is unacceptable. Volunteers scrambled, soaked and miserable. Alex couldn't help but chuckle. Nature's revenge. But it wasn't enough. That evening, he received a call. From the tow company. Mr. Thompson? Your yacht. There's an issue. His heart sank. What issue? During storage, it was damaged further. How? Vandalism? Or accident? Unclear. but it's bad. Alex drove there immediately. The serene escape lay battered, hull cracked, interior trashed. Graffiti, comply or else. Emotions crashed over him. Shock, grief, fury. This wasn't accidental. Maggie's doing? Or her minions? He photographed everything, hands shaking. Back home, he confronted Tom. Seen anything suspicious? Tom shook his head. But I heard Bill Parker bragging about teaching lessons. Alex's eyes narrowed. Revenge on entitled neighbors. It was time. But carefully. Realistically. No vigilante stuff. Legal, calculated. He revealed to Tom. I own the Marina. Tom's jaw dropped. No shit. Yep. Bought it last month. A grin spread. Then let's use that. They plotted subtly. First, restrict access. The HOA used Marina paths for walks. Close them. Signs up. Private property. Trespassers prosecuted. Maggie flipped. Her email. This is outrageous. The community has rights. Alex replied. Not anymore. Tension escalated. Neighbors divided. Some sided with Maggie, fearing change. Others, like Lisa, quietly cheered. At the grocery store, confrontations brewed. Maggie cornered him in the produce aisle. You think you're clever, Thompson? Her voice trembled with rage. That Marina belongs to the community. He met her gaze. Does it? She leaned in, spittle flying. You'll regret this. I have connections. Emotional meltdown incoming. Alex stayed calm. We'll see. But inside, doubt flickered. What connections? Local council? This could get messy. That night, alone, Alex reflected. The drama consumed him. Petty, yet profound. Relatable conflicts. Power, pride, belonging. He poured another whiskey. The story was far from over. More twists awaited. The real revelation loomed. HOA demolished my yacht for unauthorized mooring. Too bad I own the entire marina. The morning after the grocery store showdown, Alex woke to pounding on his door. He groaned, checking the clock, 7:15 a.m. Too early for visitors. Peering through the peephole, he saw Maggie, flanked by Bill Parker and a couple of other HOA board members. Her face was flushed, eyes narrowed like a storm about to break. Alex opened the door a crack. What now, Maggie? She thrust a stack of papers at him. Eviction notice from the HOA. For repeated violations. Eviction? From his own home? Alex snatched the papers, scanning them. Nonsense legalese about disrupting community harmony and unauthorized alterations to shared spaces. He laughed, a bitter, incredulous sound. You can't evict me. I own this house outright. Bill stepped forward, his realtor's smile plastered on. The covenants allow for expulsion in extreme cases. We voted. Extreme cases? This was escalating fast. Alex felt a surge of adrenaline, mixed with disbelief. These people were delusional. Maggie, this is harassment. I'll sue. She crossed her arms. Try it. Our lawyer says it's ironclad. Their lawyer, probably some hack from Bill's network. Alex slammed the door, heart racing. Inside, he paced, emotions swirling. Anger at their audacity, fear of the hassle, a growing resolve to crush them. He called his own lawyer, Rebecca Stein. Sharp, no nonsense, she'd handled his divorce. Alex, send me the docs. Sounds like bluff, but we'll counter hard. He emailed them over. While waiting, he stared at the empty dock. The vandalized yacht still haunted him. He'd filed a police report, but without proof, it went nowhere. Suspicions pointed to Bill, smarmy enough to pull it off. Tom texted, heard about the notice. Whole neighborhood buzzing. Alex replied, yeah, game on. He needed allies. That afternoon, he knocked on Lisa's door. She answered, twins peeking from behind her legs. Alex? Everything okay? He glanced around. Can we talk? Inside. She nodded, ushering him in. Her home was cozy, toys scattered. Real life, unlike Maggie's sterile museum. Over coffee, he spilled. The eviction BS. And, I own the marina. Her eyes widened. Really? That's huge. He nodded. Bought it quietly, planning to reveal at the right time. She leaned in. Why tell me? Because you're not afraid to speak up. And Maggie has you scared. Lisa sighed, emotions flickering. Relief, hesitation. She does. Threatened to fine me over the playset. Said it was a safety hazard. Classic power trip. Alex felt for her. Single mom, juggling everything. We can fight back. Together. She bit her lip. What if it backfires? I can't afford drama. Neither can I. But letting her win? Worse. A spark lit in her eyes. Okay, what's the plan? Subtle moves first. Spread the word discreetly. Show neighbors the HOA's overreach. That evening, Alex hosted a small gathering. Tom, Lisa, and a couple others wary of Maggie. The Rylas from down the street. Their fence had been deemed non-conforming last year. Over beers on the deck, tensions aired. She's like a dictator, Tom grumbled. Lisa nodded. Find me for kids' chalk drawings on the sidewalk. Alex listened, building the case. Then, casually, what if I told you the Marina's mine? Gasps. Proof shown, the deed. Excitement bubbled. We could turn it into a community spot. Without her rules. Ideas flowed. Barbecues, fishing derbies. But caution too. Maggie's got spies, Mrs. Riley warned. True. Bill Parker lurked everywhere. The meeting ended with a pact. Quiet support. Alex felt empowered, but suspense hung. What next from Maggie? He didn't wait long. Next day, workers arrived at the marina. HOA hired, planting more signs, even fencing off paths. Alex confronted them. This is private property. Leave. The foreman shrugged. Orders from Mrs. Hargrove. Said it's community land. Alex called the cops. Non-emergency, but firm. 2 officers arrived, Maggie in tow. She argued heatedly. Officers, this man is obstructing HOA improvements. Alex presented the deed. Their faces changed. Ma'am, this is his property. You're trespassing. Maggie's meltdown was legendary. What? No. The covenants. Doesn't override ownership, one officer said. She sputtered, face reddening. This is outrageous. I'll have your badges. They escorted her off, unfazed. Alex watched, satisfaction mingling with pity. Almost. But the damage to his yacht lingered. Revenge wasn't done. Word spread like wildfire. Neighbors texted, did Maggie get hauled off? Alex played coy. Just a misunderstanding. But alliances grew. Lisa organized a petition, subtly, for HOA reform. Signatures trickled in. Maggie fought back. Emails blasted. Beware agitators undermining our values. Personal attacks. Certain residents prioritized